This is a story that my grandmother, Grandma Bess, told me. She's my mom's mom. But she told all us grandkids. It was a story she told around when we went out camping, around a campfire, or sometimes she and her husband had bonfires. My grandpa, they loved to be outdoors, and they'd have a bonfire in their backyard, invite everyone over for like a cookout, and then she'd tell the story. A lot of times around Halloween. Um, and it's a folk tale, so some people know it, and they know it as Tailypo, but she called it Tailio. So, the Tailio. There was an old man and his 3 dogs, and they lived in the middle of the woods in a cabin. And there was no one for miles around, just completely isolated. And the old man, he got his food by like having a little garden, and then he also went out hunting with his dogs. And something must have been like taking away all the game this year, because he was just not finding anything. And it was getting colder out, and he didn't really want to be traveling as far and stuff, so he took the first thing he got, and he came home with it one night and was fixing up a stew. And it was kind of, it was a meager stew, and he wanted more, but it would like have to do. And so he's fixing it, and he's sitting down to dinner with his dogs, and then he hears this like sound at the door, and he goes, "Who's there?" Because there's no one around for miles. Like, who would be at the door? And there's no answer. And so he's sitting down, and he's eating again, and they hear the sound again. And he goes again. He's like, "Who's there?" And there's no answer, but this time he looks down, and underneath the door there's this big, long black tail, like big, bushy black tail, like no creature's tail he's ever seen before. And he's looking at it, and he decides he's just gonna cut it off. So he just takes a knife and just whacks it off, and so he can use it for food. And presumably the creature went away after he cut off its tail, and so he prepares it and stores it somehow. Somehow, I don't know, has some kind of ice box or something to store it in for the next night. And he and his dogs go upstairs to bed. And so there's like 2 stories. He has like a sleeping loft that he goes up the stairs with his dogs. They curl up and they go to sleep. But they hear the scratching on the door late that night. And the old man goes, "Who's there?" And he hears the creature go, "I want my Tailio." And he looks at his dogs and he goes, "Get him, dogs, get him." And the dogs run downstairs and out the cabin door, and they chase this creature. And the old man looks outside the window, and sees this big creature. It's as big as a cow, because we were always asking my grandma, how big is this creature? What does it look like? And it's this big, black, long, it had a long bushy tail at one time, and now it doesn't have a tail, and it's big as a cow. And the 3 dogs chase this creature into the woods. And the old man waits and waits, and his dogs aren't coming back. And he goes out and he yells, "Here, dogs! Here! Come here!" And then finally he sees, 2 of them come running back. And he calls again, and he's like, "Here, boy! Here!" But that dog doesn't come back. Well, the old man thinks, well, maybe he'll come back in the morning. And they all go back into the cabin and go upstairs and go to sleep, and they don't hear any more from the creature. And then the next day, the old man's preparing a stew with the tail. And he sits down and he's eating with his 2 dogs. And sure enough, that's that scratching comes on the door again. And he goes again, and he's like, "Who's there?" And the creature goes, "I want my Tailio." "Go away, I haven't got your old tail." And the old man continues to slurp up the stew, and he's given some to his dogs and everything. And the creature goes again, "I want my Tailio." And he goes, "Sick 'em, dogs, sick 'em." And the dogs run out the door, and they chase the creature way into the woods. And the old man waits, and his dogs aren't coming back. And he goes out on the porch and yells, "Here, boys, here! Come here!" And finally one of them runs back. And the old man says, "Well, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Maybe both the other dogs they're just lost in the woods and they'll come back." And he and the one dog, they go up to bed. And sure enough, the scratching comes on the door again. "I want my Tailypo." And the old man yells again, "I haven't got your old tail, go away." And so the creature, and then he yells again at his other dog, and he's like, "Go, boy, go, get him." And he runs out, and then that dog runs and chases that creature into the woods. And the old man's looking and waiting for the dog to come back, and he doesn't come, and he goes out on his porch again and is yelling, "Here, dog, here, come here." And he doesn't come back. And it's so dark, and the old man can't really see anything at night, and he thinks, maybe I'll go look for him in the morning. Maybe he'll come back in the morning. And he goes back up to his room, and he pulls the covers tight, almost kind of hiding there underneath the covers. But everything's closed up, and he's nice and cozy in bed, and hopefully he's hoping the creature won't come back. But he hears the scratching again on his door downstairs. And the creature's like right out there, he thinks, right out there. But he doesn't move. And the creature, there's a creaking sound, and the creature opens the door and goes, "Now I'm in your house." And you can hear it walking towards the stairs. Now I'm on the first step. Now I'm on the second step. Now I'm on the third step. The old man goes, "Go away, don't you understand? I haven't got your old tail. Go away." Now I'm on the fifth step. Now I'm on the sixth step. Now I'm on the seventh, and the eighth, and the ninth, and the 10th. Now I'm in your bedroom. Now I'm at the edge of your bed. And the old man's covered himself completely, like he doesn't want to see the creature. But the creature takes the cover off and says, "Now I've got you." And if you go into the woods, you might be able to find the cabin, but all they say that is left of it is a chimney. And sometimes you can hear the creature late at night whispering,